Guys, today we've got Travis Scott sneakers getting cancelled, Yeezys have disappeared, and Shein is suing Temu for, get this, copying their designs. Welcome to Sneaky Midweek Re-Up. This is something that you guys have been asking me for a while, to do another Sneaky Sunday in the middle of the week. That way I can give you guys more up-to-date information and releases quicker than usual. So this week I'm finally testing it out. So let me know by liking this video if you want me to do a midweek re-up, whatever the hell we're gonna call it, and that way I can make sure that you guys are not missing out on some of these upcoming drops, like this one right over here, the Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3. It's technically just dropped, like the Ma Maniere raffle just kind of went out. The people who entered got their wins or losses emails. I got a loss, yes, RIP. But a decent amount of you guys actually messaged me saying that you managed to get a pair, so let me know if you got a W, drop it down in the comments. For anybody like me who didn't get a W and is still looking for this pair of shoes, it is going to have a wider release very, very soon. Now, it hasn't officially loaded up to the Nike sneakers app, but as you can see, some EU retailers are loading them up for the 27th of August. So just expect these things to kind of pop up at different retailers, potentially the Nike sneakers app this week. Speaking of this week, I got a couple things that I'm sure you guys want to know because they are dropping right around the corner. The Nike Nocta Hot Step 2 Eggplant is dropping tomorrow, the 22nd of August. From what I can tell, these are going to be pretty limited, surprisingly, but it seems like a colorway a decent amount of people seem to like, even though it is a Drake eggplant. Personally, not one for me. I'm waiting on that black colorway, which I think is going to be dropping in September. Edison Chen Clot collaboration with Adidas, they're dropping a Gazelle that is dropping on August the 23rd. The raffle is actually already loaded up to the Adidas confirmed app, so you can enter up for these burlap sack looking shoes. Supreme just announced their next release, which is going to be pretty massive, already kicking off right around the corner tomorrow, which obviously is Thursday, the big Supreme drop. So here's the full list and prices of everything that's going to be dropping tomorrow through Supreme. Of course, you got some of their crazier stuff like the freaking beaker, but a ton of other stuff as well. But listen, we can't talk about Supreme without talking about the number one item which has a bunch of people licking their lips, and that of course is the Tyler the Creator team. Supreme releasing the Tyler the Creator team has gone from like, oh, it's just another Thursday, to Supreme is back and everybody loves them now. That is definitely going to be the hardest thing to get. It is going to fly and everybody has all of their eyes on Supreme right now. That is definitely the highest demand piece that they're going to be releasing. Here's the free gift, this hanger and the stickers that are going to be included in this release. Just have a little browse, see if you like anything. Supreme also announced their entire fall winter 2024 lineup, including 2 pairs of shoes. We're getting some freaking Air Force Ones back, except this time they're mid-cuts. Now, this is something we spoke about a while ago, so there's no real massive updates, just that it's now confirmed, and we are literally getting a black Air Force One and a white Air Force One with the tiny box logo. There's no quality improvements or anything insane going on here. It is literally what you see is what you're gonna get. Now, we don't have an exact release date for these just yet, so it's just at some point during their fall winter season, so just expect an update relatively soon. Another release that's happening tomorrow is a very interesting double pack of a Nike SB Dunk Low and a Converse sneaker. So this is the Alexis Sablon collaboration, and this right here, this little kind of, I guess, special packaging where you have like drawers of both of the shoes, that is going to be limited to just 500 pairs. So there's literally an official store list of all of the places selling them. They are going to be insanely limited, but if you are still after the shoe and don't really care about the special limited version, both of them are going to release individually on August the 29th. But yeah, obviously the limited one, it's only dropping through skate shops. But the biggest release of this entire week has to be the Jordan 4 White Thunder, and we've got a couple updates. I know I've had a lot of you guys messaging me worried because they haven't loaded up to the Nike sneakers app in the EU. Don't worry, they should be loading up relatively soon. So the biggest update is that we now know that there's going to be about 150,000 pairs that are going to be dropping. Now, this is globally. So just for, I guess, reference, if you're not too familiar with stock numbers, here's some other Jordan 4s with their stock numbers, like the Paris 4s, 110,000. Military Blues, obviously, this one's a little bit of an outlier, but that had 1 million pairs. 185,000 for the Frozen Moments, and 200,000 for the Oil Greens or the Seafoams. So yeah, it's kind of in the middle, although I do see these having a lot higher demand than some of the other comparisons, like the Seafoams and the Frozen Moments. comments. This is definitely going to be a very popular release. They've already loaded up to the sneakers app out in the US, so you guys are fine. Your release is pretty straightforward. Here in the UK, Nike sneakers app always does this, where oftentimes they just wait a long time, like right before the release, and then they load them up. However, a big giveaway that these are not delayed or anything like that is that a bunch of different retailers have all loaded these Jordan 4s up for a release. Like here on End Clothing, you can see they're over here, 24th of August. If you're after these things, just know the demand is going to be pretty high. The stock is like kind of in the middle, and good luck. Let me know if you're trying to grab them this weekend. Now, a release that's happening next week on a bizarre day, the 28th of August, you can see this one right over here, the Jordan 1 Low OG Mocha, another massive sneaker release. This one I want to kind of clarify because the release dates have been all over the place. They were supposed to or speculated to drop last month, and then they were like speculated to drop this month, and now they're being pushed to September, except I feel like now it's pretty clear that we have two different release dates on our hands. So for you guys out in the US, they're going to be dropping in September. However, here in the EU, a bunch of different retailers have loaded them up for August the 28th. So I'm on End Clothing. This is just the easiest one to kind of look at, but yeah, they're dropping on the 28th. You can enter the raffle if you want to now, but there's a bunch of other retailers that have also loaded them up for the exact same date, and I would imagine the Nike sneakers app loads them up very, very soon. This is a big one. I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on a pair of these. I just feel like a low would be a nice one to have in this colorway, but yeah, let me know what you think about these. Do you already have the mochas, or is this also another must cop? All right, sticking with Jordan 1s, but switching over to some Travis Scott news now, because it's getting a little bit weird. So first up, I want to talk about the medium olives, because these are going to be dropping next month. So this is the first weird thing. These were supposed to, I believe, drop in 2025. Now they've been pushed forwards and are going to be dropping in September. Now, this is something we spoke about on Sunday, so it's not necessarily new news, but the other news that we have is that the shy pink Travis Scott Jordan 1 has now been cancelled. So this is just pretty bizarre, because it also leads me to believe that potentially other of these Travis Scott Jordan 1s are also going to get cancelled. So there was a period a couple months back earlier this year where suddenly out of nowhere we just got a ton of Travis Scott Jordan 1s all leaked and rumored. For example, there's the velvet brown colorway. This one's supposed to be a 2025 release. There's this black olive colorway that was speculated and then got cancelled, just like the shy pinks. There's the pale vanilla apparently dropping in 2025. The dark pony, also a 2025 release. And of course, most recently, the fragment Jordan 1 Low collaboration is coming back with a third colorway. So why is this pair getting cancelled? A little bit weird. Well, it kind of pulls every other one of these 2025 leaks into question as well, because it's like we got all of these random leaks or kind of at a very similar time, and I wonder how many of them are actually legit. Like, are we actually getting Jordan 1 fragments? Are we actually getting the pale vanillas and stuff like that? Or is it just people making up a bunch of colorways and then having to say that they're cancelled later down the line? Seems a little bit suspicious, but as of right now, I would just kind of take a lot of these Jordan 1 Travis Scott rumors with a grain of salt, because who knows? They're all 2025 releases and a lot of them might get cancelled. Last one up for Jordan 1s, we've got our first looks at the upcoming Satin Shadow Jordan 1, which, boy, people are gonna have something to say about these. Not that it's anything crazy, but yeah, it's just like people seem to really dislike satin shoes, and I feel like if the bread release went how it did, are these really going to change people's mind? Probably not. So by the looks of it, these are pretty much identical to the bread colorway that dropped relatively recently, except obviously these are not a bread colorway, they are the shadow colorway. So you've got the same kind of metal eyelets, you've got the same stitched embroidered kind of little, you know, Jordan Wings logo. You got the same satin glistening material, which, yeah, I mean, it creases easy and it's just not really a fan favorite. These are the best looks. The first images, it looks exactly like how you would expect these to be, and they're going to be dropping on October the 26th. Let me know what you think about these and what is going to happen to the release. This is an interesting development. Another Ma Maniere Jordan 5 is going to be dropping, this time summer 2025. Thinking about it now, I feel like I saw a rumor about this pair around the time where the last Jordan 5s dropped, but I can't really remember. Either way, this is supposed to be practically identical to the diffused blue pair, except now instead of blue, it's just a burgundy color. Now, the exact details are not confirmed, so they could look completely different. By popular demand, this one had to be mentioned. We got the Crocs Batmobiles coming through, and we just got a release date for you guys who asked for the update. So it's literally a pair of Crocs designed to look like the Batmobile, and they're now going to be dropping September the 17th. I don't know what the hype is like currently for, you know, crazy Croc designs, you know, like back when the Lightning McQueens dropped and everybody absolutely loved it and were addicted to anything crazy that Crocs did with like the Shreks and stuff like that. I don't know if Crocs still really has it, if we're still there, but nevertheless, if we are still there, these things are gonna fly. I don't know, as far as a crazy pair of Crocs goes, this is definitely one of my favorites. In my opinion, these things are pretty cool. Sticking with foam shoes, LaMelo Ball and Puma are now extending from just a basketball shoe and then to a sneaker. They're now doing slides. So this one looks like a pretty crazy one. It's like a super chunky, almost mule looking type thing. It has that very LaMelo Ball DNA in there with all of like the lines and the grooves, which almost look like a tattoo. I mean, you gotta love that about LaMelo Ball shoes. They do put a lot of detail into the design, and these don't look half bad. Like some of the crazier colorways, maybe not my thing, but like this black one looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna argue with that one. Hey, if they're comfortable for 70 bucks, it might be something that I would try out, actually. All of these different colorways that you can see here, they're official images, so these are right around the corner, dropping sometime this fall, but no exact release date. This one was just so clean, I thought I'd slide it in here, even if it's not the most hyped. This is a New Balance 1000, looking phenomenal. This one's just, I don't know, the gray suede colorway, but it's really cool to see them using, you know, different materials on the New Balance 1000 model, a model that I'm a huge fan of. I love the two-tone effect that this has as well. Yeah, this is a really, really nice colorway. They're going to be dropping next month at some point in September for 150 bucks. Just wanted to let you know about this one for anybody who likes these as well. Another release that is happening tomorrow, August the 22nd, is the extremely limited, the Jonas Wood Salehe Bembury Crocs Pollux. So it's very similar to the Futura ones that he just did a while ago. This one's also going to be limited to just 1,000 pairs, and it's dropping exclusively on beasponge.com. That is Salehe Bembury's website. These also retail for 95 bucks, and I've got to be honest, these are not bad. This is a nice colorway. In fact, I would probably take these over the Futura one, but nevertheless, I like the whole idea of collaborating with artists. But I mean, the whole limited thing is probably not something that I'm like that desperate for, where I'm gonna wait around and probably take an L on. Quick update, because retailers and the Nike sneakers app have loaded this pair of sneakers up. It's the Jordan 3 Cement Gray. We've been talking about these for a while. Basically, you know, the regular cements, just, you know, this time it's gray. These are gonna be dropping the 31st of August. It's a nice colorway. Again, really, really nice, solid, nothing wrong with it, but it's just a pair of shoes that I don't know if we necessarily needed. Like, you know, there's so many threes dropping, and there was a ton of white colorways that I'm pretty much set. I don't need another colorway, and this one just doesn't make the cut. We got a release date for this holiday season's Jordan 11 release, which is taking place on the 14th now. And of course, this is for the Jordan 11 Columbia. So these are going to retail for $230, and they're going to be, I think, as true to the originals as possible from 1996. Like, it's not going to be another kind of legend blue colorway. These are the Columbias coming back, and that's pretty much all you need to know. Like, we've spoke about these a bunch of times, so I'm just going to leave it at that. December the 14th, we've got an update on that insane looking Halloween Jordan 1. This one right over here, the Black Hat Halloween shoes. So this is something that we spoke about a while ago, and now we've got way better images in the daylight, so you can see all of the craziness that is going on with this pair of shoes. They really lent into that theme, like, very intensely. Like, if you got two eyeballs on your tongue, you know that they're doing it pretty wild. You've got extremely hairy laces, which are an interesting touch. The side panels is something that we didn't see last time, and it looks like it's got almost like these blue flames coming up the sides. You know what would be pretty cool is that if this color was like, it was a certain color in the normal, like, you know, if you were in your house, but then when you step outside, it's got that UV material that lights up. I don't know if that's what this is, but it just kind of looks like it could be. The outsole, of course, it's a Halloween release. It's gonna glow in the dark. And then you've got what looks like a metal Jordan Wings logo on the back, which is pretty solid. Oh yeah, and then those eyeballs like light up, like they glow in the dark. These things are looking pretty cool. It's a fun release for sure. I'm just glad that Nike and Jordan Brand are still doing Halloween shoes and treating them pretty special, because it's always fun to see what they cook up. This is not a bad one. I'd love to know what you guys think of these things down in the comment section. Again, this should be a holiday release, so October the 31st. All right, let's talk about Yeezy. So I've had a bunch of messages from people asking me what the hell is going on. Adidas just pulled all of the Yeezys from their website, and yeah, it's over. Now, I'm not entirely sure for you guys out in the US if this has also happened, but it's probably something that is going to happen. Adidas has just pulled all of the Yeezys from the website, so now If you search up Yeezy on Adidas's website, you get 0 results. Now, what this could mean for the EU is that they're pretty much done with releasing Yeezys. We know that they had, I think, 150 million euros left of product to sell. However, at some point, they just kind of stopped bringing new product into the EU, and I don't know necessarily why. A lot of people were speculating it's because of the returns policy. They don't want people to return all of these shoes, whereas out in the US, you guys are just kind of stuck with them. If you buy it, it doesn't fit, or you don't like it, you can't send it back. So that's kind of the main speculation. It could also be that they just pulled everything and then are going to do another big release for the 4th quarter. Just remember that Adidas outlets around the world, including the EU, still have a bunch of Yeezys all sat there. Some places in the EU as well have had like Yeezy slides, which is pretty crazy, so it's definitely worth checking that out. As you guys know from Sunday's video, there's also a bunch of retailers here in the EU that are selling Yeezys, some pretty phenomenal options if you ask me. So a place like JD doesn't really have anything great. Most of it is still full price, but you know, you can get a pair of 500s for 30% off, a pair of 700 V3s for 30% off. The biggest place that sells Yeezys right now has to be Flannels in terms of a retailer. They've got so many pairs. I bought a bunch of them, which actually with this weird Fraser Plus membership thing, a lot of them work out to be under retail. Now, I know a lot of them have sold out, but if you have a look and the price works for you, this could be a place that you could go and grab some extra Yeezys if you wanted to. Just note that some of the prices on this Flannels website are terrible. Like a pair of 350s for 240 pounds. Great example, they got some pretty insane pairs listed on here, like the Zebra 350s, still a bunch of sizes. But the problem is they're charging 300 for them. And the only reason they're doing that is because they know they can. Like, this is a regular retailer. They're not a resale store. Yeezys, they're looking like it's kind of slowing down now, like they're kind of pulling back. They're running out of stock. I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the entire Yeezy market as of right now? Are people still super excited about it, or have you kind of got what you wanted and you're kind of good? Final story for today, one of the wildest freaking stories. So get this, Shein is suing Temu for copyright infringement. Pot, meat, kettle. Now, they're actually going after Temu for a little bit more than just copyright infringement, but yeah, that is the big one, which is ridiculous because Shein, I believe, has like something like 40 different lawsuits against them, mostly for trademark infringement. Shein is just kind of known for copying other people's stuff. Not only did a ton of independent artists and creators file a bunch of lawsuits against Shein, but some big companies like H&M and a bunch of other ones I can't really remember off the top of my head, but they're definitely not one to go after another company, especially Temu, for copyright infringement. Now, some of the other interesting things that they also say, they're accusing Temu of saying that an employee stole valuable trade secrets that identified the company's top-selling products, which Temu then directed sellers on its platform to sell knockoff versions of. Shein claims that Temu encourages sellers to infringe on intellectual property rights and prevents brands from removing their product from Temu's website. This is one of the most hilarious ones. Shein also alleges that Temu has falsely pretended to be Shein by creating accounts on X perpetrating as Shein. They claim that Temu basically was making posts trying to misdirect customers away from the Shein platform by posting reviews about Temu saying, hey, Temu's so much better quality than Shein. So we've got two giant Chinese companies battling it out in a US court over basically who is better at stealing other people's products. I just thought this was so hilarious, I had to mention it. But that wraps it up. Guys, if you like a little midweek re-up, make sure you let me know down in the comment section. And of course, like the video. That will be the easiest way for me to tell. And hey, if you want to catch another video, click that one right over there.